Okay, we got the hitch setting inside here. And I've got that mark right there, and that's where we're going to cut that hitch off, weld this plate on here so that we've got a secure, thick pad to put the D-ring onto. This is going to weld to the back side of here. So we're going to pull that hitch back out of there, cut it off, and then weld everything up and then set it back in there. Okay, so I was able to use the old hitch after all. I ended up cutting part of the center out so I could get my hand up through there to put the nuts on just like that. So I'm going to be able to save that one for if and when we want to take this apparatus all off in there. We could put that hitch that came with the chopper right back on there, and we're using the hitch that I had left over from another chopper. Now, I've got my 3/4 inch by 4 plate. I'm going to go ahead and weld this rectangle tube to the hitch here. I'm going to get this fished in there, and I'm going to weld that as well. And I'm going to take it off. I'm going to have to cut it open from the back, and I'm going to have to reach in there and do a better job of welding from the other side there, so that I can get that all together here. So we're going to go and get that welded in place. I'm going to put a piece of metal. I'm going to tack a piece of metal on the outside of this so that it can't only go in flush. Alright, we're going to go ahead and tack weld this into place. I'm going to put a piece of flat stock on the outside of my 3/4 plate here that I'm going to set in there, and then it'll actually go in flush. I'm just going to tack this on here. Now I'm going to go ahead and weld this here in place and get this out flush here. Okay, so I got that tack welded. Now, these two pieces here are now welded together. This is right where it needs to be. Now I'm going to set that piece of 3/4 in, and I'm going to fill that all in with weld. Okay, so I've got my piece of flat stock on here to keep that so that it's flush. And that's perfectly flush now. Okay, so we've got that welded to this hitch plate pretty good. It's going to hold. Now I'm going to unbolt that. I'm going to pull this out and I'm going to weld it from the back side. Take my piece of flat, or clean that off in there, weld all the way around here, down the face of the front here, grind that all off, and then put it back on, and then we can weld it to here. So we're going to go ahead and unbolt that from there. Okay, so we got our hitch off in there. I've got to do a few things here. I've got to clean this crap off in there, and I've got to reach in from the backside and weld that. I didn't think I was going to have to. I thought I was going to do it differently, so I got to change some things around here, and we'll get this back going here. Okay, now we're just going to cut a hole in the back side, kind of just an inspection hole, so that we can get back in there and weld these two pieces together here. I'm just going to neatly cut a hole in, and then this piece will end up going right back in place. Okay, I cut a hole in the back so that I can get in and weld this piece of 3/4 by 3 to this bolt plate that was the original hitch. I had to cut a gaudy hole into here so I could get up in and put these bolt holes in. This does not all look too awful pretty, but we're going to weld this real good here so that there is a real good strong surface for this 3/4 by 3 plate that we're going to weld this D-ring to. I'm going to go ahead and weld that all up real good. Out of wire. Now pull the excess wire out of the gun here. I had to replace the gun on this welder. The spot with the nozzle and the tip and stuff go on to the gooseneck of the gun. It was shot. And, Jared went to Han yesterday, and he thought he was going to be able to get some gooseneck parts for the nozzle top, but they ended up selling him a whole new gun instead. So this is a Magnum Pro gun, and it's got a different nozzle than what the old one had. This is like a more coarser thread and a more heavy-duty tip, and I think this one's going to be kind of the answer to the problems that we've had with this welder. The welder will weld a lot hotter than the 250s that I've got, and you really heat up the tip, because we were using the same tip and the same nozzle that the 250 was using, and I'd have to let it cool down every once in a while. Alright, so we'll go ahead and grab a roll of wire here. This is Lincoln 035 wire. spools. 44-pound spools. Get it on there the right way. Well, that's started. Now we'll just pull the trigger on the gun. We'll wait for the pull the trigger on the gun here. Kind of wait for the wire to come out here. There she be. Alright. Put you there. Cut the excess of this off. Alright, the welder cover back. I keep the welder covered. It keeps the scratches off of it. I don't know if it's all that great for well it can breathe, but the cover is above the louvers. So now I'll get this thrown away and get the gloves back on and get rolling here. Okay, for the most part we've got the welding all done on this is going to be the top here. And this will bolt in underneath the chopper. And then we're going to weld our D-ring on right here. This is the 3/4 by 4 plate. Ended up going right here. Filled all that in with weld. I got to take that down a little bit with the grinder. And we're going to see what that looks like. I might have to put another pass of weld on there to get that to look more uniform. But for now, we're going to dress that up with the grinder a little bit more here. we've got our pad marked out here. That's where we want to put the D-ring itself. So we're going to weld this down, and we will be set and ready to slide that into the back of the chopper here, and then once we get it bolted up tight, it'll seek out where it's supposed to go, and then we'll weld it to these angle irons. I've got these angle irons tight and in place, and I didn't want to weld anything to the angle irons until I had that bolt plate all in place. We're a little gaudy with that hole. I had to cut that out because those are blind holes underneath. You can't get to them from the side to set the nuts in, so you have to go up through the hole to get the nuts on there. So we'll go ahead and weld this guy down. Okay, that's all welded into place. Okay, so I'm going to set this in there. This is, let me see if I can get a flashlight. So that's the 3/4 by 4 plate, and then that regular old draw hitch is welded to it. And then I just cap this here. I cap this because I open that up so I can get in there and weld that. So we'll go ahead and get that into place here. Okay, so we have this all in place. Now I'm just going to run them bolts up through. I'll get that bolted tight, and then let this beam sit where it wants to so that that is right flush and mounted, and then we can weld this onto that angle iron there. Okay, so we got this all in place. Now we're just going to weld this up here and get that all welded down. Okay, we're going to weld this in place here. We're going to put I put a 3x4 up on top. We got 14 inches of surface area.